And we're live from the 313 and the 404, episode 83 of the Everybody Mad Live podcast. It's on a Thursday, January 20th. Actually, a year ago, we got a brand new president. It's the 365th day of the Biden administration. My name is Sid Lover. Welcome to our show.
Hey, what's happening? I'm Kenya Kabine. Leave your comments in the chat. You can join us live on video by clicking that link that you see right up under the screen. And big ups to everybody rocking with us on Facebook. Because, you know, we broadcast live on Facebook. We're here every Thursday, 8 o'clock. Make sure you spread the word. Make sure that you tell everybody what's going on with the Everybody Mad Live podcast. And also, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit that thumbs up button and subscribe.
Today, we welcome to our show a very special guest. One of my good friends actually is going to make a run for Congress. So today, actually, he just made the announcement today at church, New Bethel Baptist Church, and he's on our show. So we're excited to be one of the first, if not the first interview since the announcement. So we're welcoming retired Chief Ralph Godbee to the show. He's running for Congress, John Conyers' old district. You know, John Conyers was in Congress before he died since like the 50s or whatever. So he's running for that particular seat as well. Throughout the show, we're going to give you some news on the Biden administration. Today is the official 1-year anniversary of Biden becoming president. And like we said earlier, we're talking about the federal trial starting against those other 3 officers in the George Floyd case.
Yeah, definitely. Then switching to the entertainment side of things, P-Valley, one of my favorite shows, is getting sued by an R&B diva. We got all the details on that. Plus, your favorite comedian actually got locked up and charged with DUI this past week, right down here in Georgia, right down the street. We're going to tell you all about that. Plus, a pastor did something really shocking that's made our viral video clip of the week. We got more details on what's going on with that.
Yep, talking about COVID too. Stephen A. Smith had a real bad bout with it, and we're going to talk a little about his story, as well as we got the reality recap coming on with Shorty. So we'll talk a little bit about Portia. Her season is over, so will they get a second season? We'll talk about another reality show, back in the day reality show, one of the first ones. We'll talk about her because she's coming back. So we got a really good show in line for you. But on this 1-year anniversary of Biden becoming president, I figured we should talk about Joe Biden.
Yeah, we might as well, man, because everybody's talking about, well, first of all, he did this really big press conference this past week, and, you know, we could talk a little bit more. We can definitely discuss that. But something big that came out this week, the Biden administration actually made the announcement that they're going to make 400 million N95 masks available to Americans for free starting this week. And also the U.S. government launched a website for Americans to sign up for free COVID-19 tests as the country continues to battle the Omicron variant, which caused about 99.5% of new coronavirus cases across the U.S. this week. So the question is, do you think with everything that Biden is doing said, will this bring the numbers down?
I don't know. Yeah, I guess, but everything seems too late and everything. This should have happened, and I don't know how organized it was, but he had some other things to go. But I would have expected that off rip. You know what I'm saying? Like off rip, regardless of how political it was, we should have been passing out masks and tests as soon as they were available. Now I know the home test just got put onto the market, and you don't necessarily have everything available or whatever. But it seems to me that like these are some things. They're great things, but it's a little bit too late. But like we said last week, this whole pandemic has just been too late. When we started it wrong with Trump, everything after is just going to be wrong. It's almost kind of like we're on the train track now. So like instead of building it properly and having it there for us when the train is ready to go down this track, we're actually on the train and they building a track in front of us. And sometimes it don't go like we need it to go. So yeah, I think it helps, but it's like one of those things. It's like, yeah, it's a little bit too late to really have that big of an impact.
Well, I think I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to say we had a comment coming in from Karen. She said having access to masks is never the issue. We all got masks. We all found a way to get what we needed to have, you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't necessarily not getting it. I think it was the messaging and just being just wrong from the beginning.
Yeah. Well, I think that, you know, it should help just a little bit, but I think that there were so many that Trump made in him when it initially jumped off that is making Biden look bad because Biden is trying to clean everything up, and now people are trying to fault him for the way things are going right now in the country, and you really can't put it all on him.
Yeah,
let's be clear. You can't.
Some things you can put on Biden, but like I do agree with you. Like it's almost like we hired the wrong contractor, and he was working on our house for 4 years and messed everything up. Done messed the electrical up. Done messed like the flooring up. Done messed everything up. So now we got a brand new contractor.
Right.
He only been here a year, so we getting mad at him for what's already been broke that he ain't fixed quick enough or whatever.
Right.
So to me, that's what it's like. Like we do got a little bit of room to be upset at Biden about him not giving us the right communication and doing some things. I'm still mad at student loan. We need to do something real quick. You know what I'm saying? But like he is the contractor coming in to fix the mess up because how quickly we forgot that like we was jacked up for 4 years.
Yeah, we were.
We really was.
Yeah, we were. Leave your comments. Let us know your thoughts with the Everybody Mad Live podcast. Definitely want to hear your thoughts on this story. Now, let's see. Oh, shouts out to Crystal checking us out. She said, good evening, Cedric and Kenya. What's up? Shouts out to Sandra, Karen, rocking with us, everybody checking us out. Okay, so, your boy, sports commentator, Stephen A. Smith, he actually returned to First Take this past week talking about his bout with COVID. He said that the virus almost killed him. He said that his case was so different that if it weren't for him being vaccinated and cared for by a team of doctors, he probably wouldn't be there. The question is, do you think that the vaccine significantly increased Stephen's chance of survival? Clearly, in my opinion, I think it did. A lot of people, still think that, I'm not going to get the vaccine, but he just said what it was. If he didn't have the vaccine, he'd be dead. Like a lot of people that did not have the vaccine. What's your thoughts?
I think a lot of people saying that. I've talked to some people who have gotten COVID and they had a breakthrough case, so they did get the vaccine, maybe 1 shot or 2 shots, not all 3 in case like that or whatever. But like they say, man, like it was tough. It probably would have been worse if I didn't have the vaccine. So like people are kind of saying that and giving some firsthand knowledge, just like Stephen A. Smith was. He said there that he had pneumonia in both of his lungs. He was real next to getting on that ventilator. And we know that a lot of times when you get on that ventilator like with COVID, that's almost like the beginning of the end. You got to fight through that. You know what I'm saying? So like shouts out to his medical team and him also for getting the vaccine, because it could have been a very different story. He could have been one of the ancestors we're talking about on the show. Every week we got somebody new. So get your shots, please.
Definitely. Sandra said the only ones that will take advantage of these things are the ones that are already taking precautionary measures.
Right, because like honestly, like the what the website just got launched yesterday, we went on and ordered our free COVID tests for our household, so we have them just in case there's something, because we know it's been running out over the past couple of weeks or months or so or whatever. So we went in and don't nobody feel like nothing or whatever, but we just want to be prepared for the worst case. And we've been doing that since COVID started. But yeah, she's absolutely right. It's probably gonna be us getting the mask. It ain't gonna be everybody, because you got some people who just stuck on stupid, and that's where they're gonna be.
Yeah, it's crazy, Sid. Well, we definitely want to hear your thoughts on this next story right here. If you haven't heard by now, the 3 officers charged in George Floyd's death, they actually go to trial this week. And actually, this everything started today. What do you think is going to be the outcome of this? Because I've always felt like they were just as guilty as Derek Chauvin. Derek Chauvin. Because, I mean, they sat up there and watched him kneel on this man's neck for like a little bit over 9 minutes, but they didn't do anything. So I feel like they're just as responsible, and they should do as much time as Derek did, or as Derek is going to do.
Well, I don't know if they're going to get as much time, but I do think it needs to be some culpability to what happens, because like just the same way, like, the school shooting case here in Michigan, they're charging the parents currently for, well, I don't know what the charge, but kind of like willful neglect, like you're aiding to the delinquency of a minor. So you're adding to this. You're not doing something to prevent this from happening. Same thing with these officers. They didn't do enough to prevent anything that was happening. They were more concerned about his seniority, probably the blue line. I don't know what was going through their heads, but like stuff like this, we talk every single week. I think we use the word accountability. At some point in the show, we say something about accountability, and this is one of the things. You have to hold these officers accountable, because if we don't hold police officers accountable, we're going to be stuck in this cycle of like these pseudo slave patrols. When we had the historian on, we learned about how police, the agency of police departments, came from slave patrol, so it has a history of being against black people. But you know what I'm saying? If we don't start to begin to make them accountable for the things, then like these police officers won't start to feel any sort of heat to change their actions.
I agree with you 100%. Well, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and bring out our guest of tonight's show. He's a retired chief of police for the Detroit Police Department and also a retired chief of police for Detroit Public School Community District, chief of staff for Triumph Church. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is Chief Ralph Godbee. What's going on, brother man?
Man, it's going well, Kenya. Said love is good to be with you, man. Enjoy the back and forth. The topics are hot. Hey, I hear you.
And congratulations, you just made a very special announcement today. And like, this is probably one of the, like, you've had a lot of jobs throughout the year, but this might be one of the biggest responsibilities that you have. So tell folks what you just made the announcement about.
Well, today announced that I was running for United States Congressman for the 13th Congressional District in Michigan. And I mean, tremendous show of support. Great announcement today. I'm just super excited. And, you know, some people question my sanity for trying to get into DC, especially the way DC politics is now.
Yeah.
But to be totally honest, that's what the reason why, that's what inspired me to take a run at this vacant seat that once was held by the late John Conyers. There's a lot of history in that 13th district seat. Kenya, I would love to get some of that Stacey Abrams vibe up here.
No, you will, right?
Don't you?
Yeah.
But, you know, I say that in all sincerity. I mean, she really has set the standard. And not only just for going for those that, you know, classically vote, but really educating people about the process and registering voters and empowering voters and showing people the power of the vote. I mean, nobody ever thought that Georgia was going to be a blue state. I mean, just never did, you know, especially, you know, they had projected Texas flipping a long time ago. Still ain't flipped. But Madam Abrams, she is a beast to me. You know, I'm just going to share this. It ain't none of my business, but I think the Democratic National Party should have made her the party chair because she's demonstrated. You know, and that's nothing against Jamie. But I know Whip Clyburn, you know, is a very powerful man in Congress. And Jamie is a tremendous leader. But Stacey really needs to be in the conversation on how we keep the House and keep the Senate, because she has just done stuff that just doesn't, you know, add up in the normal political environment. She defies that, and that's the kind of innovation we need, especially for Black America, for us to really have a seat at the table. Because they say if you don't have a seat at the table, you're probably on the menu. And that's what we're fighting against in Detroit. Kenya, we stand a chance out of 13 congressional districts and 2 Senate seats of having 0 Black representation in Washington, D.C. And I can't sleep at night with that. I can't. And I'm not saying I'm the only Black that's qualified, but I know I'm qualified. And I'm going to do everything I can to run a good race and to make sure that seat stays not with just a Black face, but with someone that is really going to fight for Black issues. I used to tell people, Kenyon said when I was chief of police, I'm a Black man that happened to be a cop, not a cop that happened to be a Black man. And I'm acutely aware of my responsibility to equity for how our people are treated. You know, Rosa and Malcolm and Medgar, they didn't do what they did for Black folks to get in spaces to continue to treat our people the same way. But what I found out real quick, I was one chief of police out of 18,000 in the country. So I want to take, you know, my talents. I'll start to sound like LeBron. Take my talents. I want to take my talents to DC, because not only do I want to do this for the people in the 13th district, but also it's only 435 people that really shape what is, you know, going to happen, the trajectory of how Black people are treated in this country for years to come. And the more Black voices experientially that they take out of the mix, that's less people, advocating for the George Floyd and Policing Act and doing those things necessary to keep the pressure on. To be there with Raphael Warnock when they tried to get all off of voter registration and voter rights. Reverend Raphael Warnock took him to church, and it's back on the agenda. So representation matters. So that's what motivates me. But I ain't trying to make this just completely serious and about me. I know it's a serious subject, but even in doing this, I want to enjoy the ride because it's a lot of good people out here that just have not been represented. I think at the highest level, that when you get behind those doors, are you still going to advocate for the people that put you in DC? And the indoctrination that I come from, unbought, unpaid for. If you want to spend your money on my campaign, I take every dollar you can give, but that's not going to change what I have to do to make sure that Black and Brown Americans have a fair shot and there's equity. And not just Black and Brown Americans, but it's really becoming a class issue.
Yeah,
because, it's poor people said because the ironic part is the Republican Party has sold a bill of goods to a very marginalized white America when the middle class is eroded and gone.
Yeah.
The wage gap between the poor and the rich, if you look at the 1% that holds 90% of the country's wealth, and we're the richest country on the planet. So that means that 90% of the people, if we exercise our right to vote and understood our political power, we could put in check some things that make sure, and I'm not talking about socialism, I'm just talking about making sure that 8 hours work, get 8 hours pay, and pay at a level that I could send my kid to daycare.
Because $15 is not enough.
It's not enough.
Okay.
That's the floor.
Yeah.
I mean, $15 an hour, but we keep talking about it every year we move forward. If you know the formula for time value of $1, you start to do the math. That $15 is still the $3.75. When I was a kid. So we really have not. They're doing a 10-year challenge on Instagram. Do a 10-year challenge on the minimum wage
and wages.
It's going backwards. It ain't aging well. So those are the kind of fights we got to fight. 1 of 435, but I feel like me and God, we're a majority. And if you just start doing the right things and modeling the right things and being unbought and unpaid for, at a point, it really becomes a matter of good versus evil. And what's good for the greater, mass. Our political system has been corrupted to the core, with the way we finance campaigns.
Speaking of that, like we have a millionaire who also has his eyes on the 13th district that John Conyers used to sit in, and I think he said that he gonna spend a lot of his money just to get off rip so he can start getting the campaign. And we know campaigns are about money. So how are you gonna fight somebody who already said he's gonna put a couple $1 million into his campaign just off rip?
Kenya, this name may, I'm old enough to remember a guy named Jeb Bush. Jeb Bush had a boatload of money, and Donald Trump didn't spend no money, and ran him out of the race. So I don't want to acquiesce to the fact that this guy says he's going to put up $5 million of his own money. You still got to get out there. You got to touch the people. You got to talk to the people. And you have to earn their respect in the ballot box.
Yep.
So
especially in Detroit.
In Detroit, man,
any black city.
Any black, exactly. Now the thing is, the enemy from within is much greater than the enemy from without. And who he's going to be sliding money to, to get support. That's a whole different conversation. But we're going to call them out like an umpire. And I'm unafraid, to call folks out for what it is. And experientially, this man has never done anything for my community that I can put my hands on. And if you got $5 million at your disposal like that you're gonna put up in your personal campaign, to say you want to represent the interests of a district that's majority black, you got to show me. Because that $5 million, I go to a church called Triumph Church that takes millions of its own dollars that it raises from the congregation. It feeds hungry people. It pays mortgages for those that are losing their homes. Helps people to keep from getting their gas and electricity cut off. People that haven't had cars, giving them an opportunity to walk in the church and drive out with a brand new car. I mean, who does that? Somebody that cares about the community. So if this candidate really cared about my community, I would even have more respect if 2.5 of that million you put up to make sure that kids had laptops when the schools were closed on the pandemic, and that they had hotspots or they had internet access. Show me that you did something with that $5 million. But just to put $5 million up because you want to win the race and you want to buy the race, people in Detroit, we ain't for sale. Yeah. We're not cut like that. And that's the argument we're gonna make. And if I prevail as the candidate that jumps into a competitive race with this guy, that's gonna be the drumbeat. We ain't for sale.
No doubt.
You gotta be able to speak, truth to power. You got to be able to demonstrate to the people that I represent and I plan to represent that you got some skin in this game. Yeah. I had 25 years in Detroit Police Department putting my life on the line for the people in the city of Detroit. I put another 2 years into leading the Detroit Public Schools Community District Police Department. I've been a preacher in this community for 22 years, doing weddings and funerals and going to pray for those that are in help, visiting people in jail. Kenya, when I was chief of police, and this never made the news, I went into Ryan Road Correctional Facility and I met with the inmates. I went into Jackson Prison and met with the inmates to let them know that when you get out of here, because the majority of you are coming out, we want to welcome you back into the community and we want to help you be productive in this community. Yeah. And those are the kind of things that, to me, that's criminal justice reform. Yeah. Not just locking black men up and throwing away the key and don't give them any kind of way to come back and be contributors to our community. Because that's somebody's father, that's somebody's uncle, that's somebody's brother, that when he comes out, we don't want an emaciated man, because we have lost so much energy from black men in the community and we have so much going against us. Our queens don't have kings that are whole. And we've got to fight to restore the pride of what it means to be a black man. And systemically, we've got to speak truth to power. This is my favorite saying: power concedes nothing without a demand, and never has and never will. And that's with the fight. We got to demand. We got to put a demand on this thing. Will we always win? I don't know. But it won't be because we're not marching, we're not voting, we're not praying, we're not protesting. Whatever it takes to bring attention to the plight of the disenfranchised, that's the kind of fights we got to lead.
No doubt.
One thing about being in Congress, it's not just a district you represent. Anytime there's an issue that affects Black America or the disenfranchised or the transgender community, the LGBT community, any marginalized community, as a U.S. congressperson or a senator, you have a platform, whether it's in Detroit, if it happens in Atlanta, if it's in Fulton County, if it's in New York, Chicago, LA, Harlem, Miami, wherever there's an injustice, you have an opportunity to weigh in on a national scale. I mean, the people of Haiti, our brothers and sisters in Haiti are down there in abysmal conditions. Yeah. One of the most rich, resourced areas on the planet, yet one of the poorest countries in this hemisphere. We got a lot of people of African descent fighting for Haiti. I'm not mad at anybody else that fight for their native lands, but we got to fight for the liberation of Black people, not only here, but where they are disenfranchised across the world. Racism to America. It's prevalent in America, but it ain't unique. And we got to take the fight to the world. So that bully pulpit that we would have. That's what I want to do, is just fight for our people and leave a legacy that that a young kid in Detroit on Mack and Bewick. Now, said not the meaning of Mack and Bewick, or Linwood in Philadelphia, or Joy Road.
Yeah.
The areas that are not the prettiest areas, the areas that have been, we talk about they don't want to defund the police, but they defunded our neighborhoods. They defunded our schools. They defunded our mental health facilities. They defunded our clinics and our pharmaceutical ability. They defunded everything else. So what I'm talking about is shifting those funds back to make sure we take care of the people that can't take care of themselves.
No doubt. Hey, Chief, let me ask you a quick question. We got people that are chiming in. And right now, everybody, this is Everybody Mad Live podcast. Pastor Ralph Godbee with us from Triumph Church. Educate Wood said, what do you think about Mitch McConnell's comment implying that African Americans are not American? I don't know if you heard about that or not.
I did. I saw it. I saw the quote. And to me, it's not surprising. It's what you call a Freudian slip. Because if you listen to what the Republicans have been saying, the reason why they say the election is stolen, not because they can't count, it's because they think we don't count as Americans. What they're saying is the only reason Donald Trump lost is because you counted the votes of Black and brown people. So Mitch McConnell saying that doesn't surprise me at all, because he said African Americans vote like Americans. So Black people vote like Americans, which implies that we ain't a part of the system. And that's what this Republican Party has done. And let's be clear, if the House flips, if the Senate flips, we got to even be that much louder. So you got to have strong voices, especially if we slip into the minority in either of those chambers of Congress.
Right.
And, you got to keep the pressure on. So even if we're outvoted, relative to how gerrymandering goes and how they're trying to make sure that districts are not going to be won by Democrats. I mean, let's be honest, they've done everything they can in multiple states to take over the vote, because they can't win doing it the right way. Just policy for policy, vote for vote. They can't come up with a better mousetrap. So
Biden said today, or was it yesterday when he did his speech, where he said that they're not running on anything. They don't have any plans for the country. They just want to block the plans that we have. So I guess from my standpoint, how will you fight that? Because I think the biggest thing with Democrats, and we are obviously knowing that you are running for the Democratic nomination for that, but obviously here it usually means that you're going to win the general or whatever. But in running for that and knowing what we're thinking about and knowing that people how do you get people motivated to actually go out and vote? Because I think now we're in a time to where we're not seeing some of the things that we thought was going to happen. A lot of people don't know the A, B, and C's of politics and how it works. So what will you do to kind of fight for those things that we desperately need?
Well, one thing, you got to bring some energy and passion to this thing. I mean, this is not something that you just do because you want another job or you want another notch on your resume. You really have to be passionate about it and give people a reason to hope. Because my late father used to always say, well, when hope is gone, a man is dead. And if you rob people of hope, what's their motivation to go out and vote? So number one, you got to be able to articulate your vision, and you got to do it with passion. Because if you don't believe it, you can't make nobody else believe it. And then secondly, you got to be able to demonstrate to people that you are going to fight for them. And you've got to be, just so persistent in what your issues are. And the thing about, the reason why I have hope, even though, they're projecting that the House is going to flip, is, regardless of what you think of Bernie Sanders, people thought he was a fringe person. But the progressive wing of the party is really taking over the Democratic Party. So don't underestimate what a loud voice can do and a passionate voice can do when you speak to the issues that people deal with every day. And when you talk about student loan debt, when you come out with $100,000 of debt and you can't even find a job for $15 an hour, somebody's selling you something that ain't true.
Yeah.
And when you have a Bernie Sanders or a progressive wing saying, look, we got to cancel the student debt. It's one of the biggest debt issues that people deal with on a day-to-day basis, especially when it can't produce what it promises. It's selling a false dream. When you have people that go to trade school, that are master electricians, that are master plumbers, master carpenters, and they make, tons of money, and have never stepped foot in a institution of higher learning.
Yeah.
But they have a skill, because I don't care if you go to Yale, you go to Harvard, you go to Princeton, and you got an electrical problem, you need that master electrician. So when you start to look at that,
go on YouTube and watch that video.
Man, I can watch all the YouTube videos in the world. I ain't touching no electricity.
Right.
But I say that to say that we've got to start giving our people alternatives that make sense. College ain't for everybody, and we got to stop selling that pipe dream. That's the way out. That is a way out, but that's not the only way out. And I remember coming up in school, they would test us to see what our, where our interests may lie, so you could start to, move that young person in the right direction.
Yeah,
something that they could, possibly thrive at. And then, but even at that, we still have to restore a middle class. I mean, it's gone, and it's turned to the haves and have-nots, and we're moving towards an oligarchy. We've got 10 billionaires that really are controlling, the votes of 350, the trajectory of 350 million people. That's not the way this thing was intended to be. The writers of the, of the Constitution even contemplated, making sure that we don't have monopolies. Nobody's really challenging these monopolies anymore. I mean, Facebook, they buy up Instagram, they buy up WhatsApp, then they control the thought leadership in this country and in the world.
Yeah.
Those monopolies, they're dangerous. They have to be challenged. But if you bought and that's who's funding your campaigns, that kind of hamstrings your truth. That's why I love the church I attend. We don't take nothing from nobody.
No doubt.
And that allows our pastor to really speak truth to power, because we abide by the principles of the Bible. Now, whether you are a Christian or not, the principles work. I remember a book I read in graduate school called Jesus CEO, and it applied the teaching of Jesus Christ as if he were the CEO of a corporation, and really translated into a winning organization. So whether you accept him, for your salvation, you cannot argue that the principles work. And you apply them, and you do those things that are ethical, that's right, you chase the right things, the resources will come. So we got backwards. We want to amass the resources and then act like we're going to do something right on the back end. But once you bought and paid for, it's kind of difficult to do that Michael Jackson moonwalk off of those different issues that you promised your funders that you were going to advocate for.
Well, Chief, let me ask you before we wrap with you, what's one thing that we can do to support you? What do you want people to do to support you? How can we get out and support you and what you're doing?
Yes. Our website is stood up today, godbeeforcongress.com. If you're in the 13th district area, we need volunteers, and we want to build that volunteer base. The second thing we need resources. So our ActBlue account is set up. Hit that donate tab, and if you could help us, go up and get some ads on TV and some ads on radio to talk about what we're doing. Because again, 5 million, that's formidable, but it don't scare me, because I still think that the people, when they rise up, so I'm not asking for max donors, but that $5 here, that $10 there, anything you could do to really get a synergy behind what we're trying to do. We want to make sure that the same gentleman that wasted $10 million running for governor is going to blow another $5 million.
Yeah, facts right there. So, Chief, we have spent about 20 minutes with you throughout various topics, and you've sold me. I like what you're saying. I like what
Right.
everything what you're talking about. But as our last question, as we look at some of the
Yes.
questions from our audience and things like that, it's still going to be somebody that's going to call me and text me, like literally what I got when I put the post on my Facebook that
Mhm.
oh yeah, we got Chief Godbee, he's running for Congress or whatever. So like first text, I ain't gonna show you who it was or whatever.
Mhm.
Well, you know he blah 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 whatever.
Right.
So relative to when you left and retired from the police
Yes.
department
Yeah.
and that sort of thing or whatever. So I want to just real quickly speak to that and like
Yeah.
kind of coming from a scandal and kind
Mhm.
of in that situation or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, how did that make you better and more
Mhm.
prepared to be a man in Congress?
Well, first of all, it was 10 years ago, number one. Number two, I went through what a lot of grown people go through. I went through a divorce. And going through that divorce, I made some choices that, I'm not all, proud of, because you shouldn't pick up another relationship until you're in the one you're in. So, those are the things that happen. But, if anybody wants to do oppo research, I'll help you out. I'm a sinner saved by God's grace.
Hey,
But if you balance the work that I've done for the community, the commitment I've had for the community, I've apologized to the people I need to apologize. So, for those that expect me to apologize to them personally, it ain't gonna happen because I've made, my reconciliation with my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and those that I have harmed, or had harmed going through my divorce. I've dealt with that. Kayla Simone Grigsby, formerly Kayla Simone Godbee, my daughter, and my ex-wife, the only two people I owe an explanation to. So I take no pride in falling, but my dad said something that I always live by: only a fool trips over what's behind him. That's in my past. And I have the capacity to serve. I have the resume and the pedigree to serve. And, if that person knows a perfect candidate, I would invite them to, vote for that perfect candidate because I don't think Jesus coming down from his throne to run for
13th district.
um,
Right.
so
Ain't nobody perfect.
nobody's
Right.
perfect. Nobody's perfect. And I don't use that as an excuse because I've held myself accountable. And nobody can hold me to a higher account for what I expect from myself than myself. But, that's one of those things. I'm done talking about apologizing for, the people that I needed to make amends with. I have. And the most important person I need to make amends with is my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And he has forgiven me. And I will make mistakes again. Not those mistakes, but I will make mistakes. We're all sinners saved by God's grace. But, what I can commit to is nobody. And anybody want to question my personal conduct at that period of time, feel free to do so. But I dare you to question my work and what I did for the community and what I did for policing. When the Detroit Police Department was under 2 federal consent judgments, and after 7 years had made no progress. When I took over, I took them to 90% compliance in 2 years.
Yeah.
A constitutionally sound policing agency that respected the community, and I gained the respect of the community. I stepped away from the Detroit Police Department because I did not want my personal issue to become the department's issue. So for me, the person of integrity, you should value the institution over your own personal, because I could have stayed and fought, but I made a decision that what was best for me was to make sure that my family was straight, make sure that my life got in order, and I made amends. But that's not going to stop me from what I have to offer my community.
That's right. That's right. You're getting a lot of amens from folks out here in the comment section. So definitely, we are praying for your success on this journey. Whatever we can do, continuing on through this process up until the campaign. The election is August the 2nd.
Yes.
So yeah, as much as we can do between now and then to kind of help you and kind of support you during this journey, because one thing that we really believe in is people who have good high character. And since I've known you, like you've always displayed real positive and supportive character. Like you've always been a man of your word and a man of integrity and that sort of thing. So we are definitely very, very excited about what's going to happen real soon, whatever. So please let everybody, Matt, know how we can continue to support you. I know you said your website will be open soon, Godbee for Congress.
GodbeeForCongress.com. Instagram, Godbee for Congress. It's going to be there's Facebook page still, Godbee for Congress. And Kenya.
Yes, sir.
Tell Miss Abrams to holler at your boy.
I will.
Yeah.
When I see her, I will let her know.
I appreciate it. Man,
Cool.
I love you. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
Great
Right,
show.
appreciate it.
Love what you're doing.
Cool.
We appreciate you too. Keep doing your thing.
I think you froze. Oh,
That was a great interview,
right
Sid.
now. Yeah, it was good. Yeah, like man, like I've always
am I back?
known. No, I think you got like a little internet issues or whatever. So I'll talk a little bit to kind of get your internet time to catch up. But yeah, Chief has always been a real upstanding guy, and definitely like he was never one of those like police like like there are police officers who are police before they're black and like that sort of thing. He was never that type of chief, and out of all the chiefs that have been here in 20 years that I've been here, like he's certainly better than the one that just left, who got not a lot of stuff. And funny thing, the chief that just left is going to run for governor. So two of our past police chiefs are actually running for political office, but this is one that I trust his character because I've seen him preach, I've seen him do funerals, I know he does weddings and things like that. So I know that is doing ministry, like it ain't no money in that. Like that's all heart. Like that's all about your heart and what you believe in and that sort of thing. So like, yeah, he absolutely has all my votes, which is just one, but he definitely has.
No doubt. Well, make sure everybody, if you're in the Detroit area, Michigan area, make sure that you support the pastor up there. Hey, we got some more news coming up. Everybody Mad Live podcast. Now, this is something that's interesting right here, and this is a big debate. Dwayne Wade recently said that Michael Jordan will no longer be considered the GOAT by the younger generation, similar to NBA legend Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, because he said they'll forget about Jordan. Now, the question is, do you agree or disagree with Dwayne Wade? Will people forget Michael Jordan? Me personally, I see what he's saying. I don't see how people can forget Michael Jordan because his legacy succeeds him. Like he has the Jordan shoes, the Nike paraphernalia. People are still interested in Jordan everything. You know what I'm saying? Jordan shoes, they paying like $400 or $500 for Jordan shoes. So no, I don't think that Jordan will ever not be considered the GOAT. That's just my call. What's your take on that?
I mean, but you got to look at it's 2022. So people who were born in the year 2000, they're 22 years old. So our newfound adults are growing up in an era where they've never seen him play. They don't know anything about
watch
him.
YouTube.
They've seen videos, yeah, but like still that doesn't give you like the sort of kind of, I don't know, like the true depth of how great Jordan was through watching YouTube videos. Like those are things that you had to be a part of. Go to those games or watch those games. Watch him beat through the Detroit Pistons when he's trying to get through the bad boy era and stuff like that or whatever. But I hate these little comparisons because everybody's a little bit different and we all gonna have our own opinions or whatever. But I can see how you say that because like we got kids now who they don't yell out Jordan, they yell out Kobe. Yeah. Or they yell out certain things. So I see what he's saying, but yeah, you made a good point. Like Chamberlain didn't have shoes. Like the Nike brand is still one of Jordan's, one of Nike's. Well, the Jordan brand is one of Nike's biggest brands. Period. Still.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like Michael Jordan was like the first NBA star. You know, he was the first NBA rock star. I mean, there were others before him, but Michael Jordan had the big endorsement deals and the shoes and all that kind of stuff. So that's why I say that he will forever be considered the GOAT. Let us know your thoughts with Everybody Mad Live podcast. I see some comments coming in. Sandra said, nah, he'll never. People will always consider MJ the GOAT. Let's see, somebody else said Jordan is the legendary GOAT, like Whitney is deemed the greatest. The same for Jordan. So let us know your comments. We got some more stories coming up, and we got reality recap coming up too with Shorty. But before we get into that, we definitely got to talk about how your girl Nikki Gilbert, with her black ass gums
and the black ass knees,
is suing the creators of P Valley.
Where is that video? I gotta find that.
Yeah, I thought you would have pulled it up, Sid. I thought you would have had it this week too, but she's actually suing P Valley for copyright infringement. Now, initially when I heard this, I was like, oh, here go Nikki and her toxic ass popping her black ass gums about some shit that she don't know about. But when I saw the trailer to what she's talking about, because okay, let me just back it up. Back in the day, 2011, Nikki had a stage play called Soul Kittens Cabaret. Soul Kittens Cabaret starred Fantasia, Faith Evans, friend to the show, Crystal Wilson. It takes place in a burlesque. P Valley is about a street play. So, you know, when I first see it's a stretch, it's a reach. But then I watched the trailer for Soul Kittens and I discovered she may have something. I'm going to let y'all check this out and then break down.
Oh, they had Fantasia?
Yeah.
Came here to be a soul kitten.
You want to be a burlesque dancer? Baby, burlesque rhymes with flesh.
You gotta motivate me. I'm a grown woman now, and I have never
been better. I'm gonna have a wonderful time here. There's so many bad things going on.
Not every woman that sings the blues lives the blues, baby. Never ever challenge the power of faith and love, because you will never.
Who directed this? Tyler Perry?
No, Nikki Gilbert.
Oh, there she goes.
but the clip that what you didn't see in the clip that I saw in the extended clip was that in her play it is about a club and the owner of the club is LGBTQ and they are trying to people are trying to tear down the club to put in a casino, same as P Valley. So I'm like, oh, that may be a correlation. I see why she's suing. That's it right there. Is again, you know, there's a gay character as the lead, and he's the owner of the club, and they're trying to save the club from being torn down so they can put a casino there.
I get it, but yeah, like, yeah. Everybody always say somebody stole their great idea that ends up making somebody money, but. From that trailer, I didn't see it, but yeah, I get that. But what else?
Right.
What else?
That's just,
like you got a little bit more proof than like two things. Oh, well, y'all got a similar storyline to what we got going on, and then two, like y'all got a gay character. They gonna need a little bit more because that could have been coincidental.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let us know your thoughts.
Copyright that script.
You said what?
Did they copyright that script?
Right. Exactly. Tiffany Haddish got arrested this past week for DUI. Here's the headshot. You got the mugshot? No. The mugshot was hilarious.
Oh yeah, because she make me sick anyway. I don't even like her.
She was high. She was geeked up.
Hold on.
Responding to a 911 call about a dry.
Yeah, we don't need that voice. Oh my! Where the mugshot at? Hold on.
I just want y'all to see the mugshot. That's the only reason why we got this. There it is. Look at her. Ooh.
Right, hey y'all.
Yeah, she's like, hey y'all.
Looking like somebody's lesbian sister. I'm sorry because I have a whole lot of lesbian friends too, and I shouldn't have said that.
Changes subjects Hey, said, would you ever tattoo? How do you feel about face tattoos?
Same with, well, like that. Well, you know, I have 0 tattoos, period. So like face tattoos would be like a negative 100. So absolutely not.
Yeah, well, Cardi B, the word is that Cardi B is considering getting her son's name tattooed on her face. You know, I just think this is a bad. And when she says this though, she says she's 1% close. This is offered. This is a troll. This is just something for just
because
to get
1% close is a real long far away, ain't it?
You said what?
If you're 1% close, like that's pretty far.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I just said she said that, but people just ran with the story. You know what I'm saying? But that means that she ain't gonna do it. But I just brought I thought that it'll be kind of cool to talk about it because I know a lot of other people, like Amber Rose has a tattoo on her face. I think her son's name tattooed on her face. And you see, ever since she got that tattoo, it's like Amber's career just went downhill. It was like putting a bumper on a Bentley. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like and then as a woman, and this isn't a sexist comment, I just feel like it just doesn't look good. You know what I'm saying? Like I've seen, like, you know, you see the thugs in jail and stuff with tattoos and stuff like that. But when it's a woman with a face tattoo going across the forehead, it just looks crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. There was actually a project that I saw on YouTube. It's called the Skin Deep Project, but they look just like you said, all the criminals or the like what do you call the convicts, the people in jail,
and killers and shit.
Yeah, so these are gang members and that sort of thing, and then they gave them they used Photoshop to show them what they would look like if they didn't have the tattoos, and actually it brought a couple of them to tears because they realized, like, man, like I really jacked my face up because like this is here permanently, and like I could have looked like a normal person and had a normal life, but now I'm in the cycle, in the system, to where can't really find a job. I get shunned. And like I get it, you want to be creative, this your face, you can do what you want to do, whatever. But the other part of it is that like society don't look highly on that. So you're doing something that's so like what's the norm, and like you gotta suffer the consequences, which kind of sucks, but man, why'd you do that in the first place?
Yeah, it's like you can only work certain places with face tattoos. You know what I mean? Like it's just not it's not professional. It's just not professional. Just straight up. That's it. So if you're trying to have a career in corporate America, I definitely wouldn't recommend it. Even I remember when I got my tattoos back in the day, I was like, well, I work in radio, I can get away with it. You know, but I had these, you know, like 2 big tattoos on my arm, but I work in radio. You know what I mean? But it's just like, tattoos just not for every. Well, face tattoos definitely a no-go.
I don't think, face tattoos shouldn't be for anybody unless it's unless it's a temporary tattoo and you are Native American and you doing something like that. We got some comments. Sandra agrees with you as well. And Crystal said it's definitely not a good look on that. I can't see that, and it's so unfortunate. Like, why'd you make that life choice? To do something that's gonna be permanent.
Yeah. Hey, one more story before we bring out Shorty with the reality recap. Kanye West dropped this new track this past week with The Game. It's called Easy. He's talking about whipping Pete Davidson's ass. You know, Pete Davidson's now dating Kim Kardashian. But I think what got everybody's attention was the cover art for this album. It was crazy. It's like a skint monkey. It's a skint monkey. And we got a picture of it. It's very graphic. So parental advisory.
Actually, no, I don't, because it ain't come.
Oh, it didn't come up? Oh, okay. Well, y'all Google it if you want to see what I'm talking about. But it's just like, Kanye, like, for me, it's art. And again, it's trolling. And it is to garner views and attention and publicity. That's all it is. But it's art. You know, it's controversial. But I was like, damn, a skint monkey? And it looks horrific. It looks horrific. Anyway, check it out. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Google it. Hey, it's time for reality.
Everybody got it blocked out. But yeah.
Really? Right. Oh, because that's just how graphic it is. That's just how graphic it is. Anyway, it's time for reality recap with Shorty. Shorty, did you see the Kanye cover, man?
Just in here. What's going on? Can you hear me?
Yeah, man. What's up, brother?
What's going on, brothers?
Hey, Shorty, did you see that album cover, man?
I did see the album cover. I wasn't here for it.
It was
graphic. It was kind of disrespectful. It was misleading.
It was dark.
It was dark. It was too much. It was too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to see you, man.
It's good to see y'all too. So let me explain before we get going. So I went to the dentist this morning to get a deep cleaning, and she was kind of rough with my gums. So
really,
it's kind of sore. But
that must mean you got a cavity.
I ain't got no cavity.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, you ain't got nothing wrong with your teeth. Like, she ain't gonna be in there digging and doing all the stuff that she does.
She's trying to roast you about your teeth, bro.
You know what? My teeth won't let me react. Let me take my shaders off.
So, Jordy, what's up, man? Let's talk reality TV, bro, before we get on up out of here, man. Portia wrapped up her series, Portia Family Values, last weekend. A lot of people were saying they liked it. A lot of people didn't like it. What's your thoughts? What are people saying? Go.
Here's my take. Portia gave us one character on The Housewives, and then we got to really see Portia with her own show with Portia Family Values. I feel like right now in this moment, Portia just kind of all over the place. She's trying to find herself as stealing somebody's husband, trying to make that work. She's trying to include her baby daddy. She want to include all the family, so the outside it look okay, but on the inside it's chaotic, and that's exactly what we got on this series, this reality show of hers. Yeah. It was all drama filled. It was chaotic. It's everything that we get in reality shows today. So.
Yeah, they need to cancel the show. They don't need to bring it back for like a second season or anything. Because, like, to me, I think a lot of people were they were looking forward to seeing some of the answers to what we knew had happened in Real Housewives of Atlanta. So now, once we get onto the show, and I guess Portia, like, did she have some sort of creative control to be able to block stuff? But I guess that's the thing is, like you're trying to show you as the lead of this particular show, but you don't want certain things to happen. You don't want the fight to be shown. You want to control who Dennis gets to bring on this tour to Mexico. You want to do this, like you want to lash out at somebody's mama. Like,
it was Portia in this show deemed herself to me as completely ratchet, out of control, not in control, looking for control.
And the funny thing is that she quit all of her stuff. She's not doing Dish Nation. She ain't doing Ricky Smiley. She put everything into the show. So she got the book, I guess, or whatever. But she looks like she's trying to get away from all that to focus on her own things or whatever. But I'm like, baby girl, we ain't trying to follow you because this made me like you like I like Kelly Price. Like when R&B people came out with Kelly Price and we saw how Kelly Price act for real. Like, ooh, girl.
Yeah, it changed your perspective.
And I'm almost the same way with Portia. I'm like, oh yeah, I was trying to root for you. We were rooting for you. I was trying to get in there and actually, oh yeah, I'm proud of you. Girl, like, yeah, you used to think the Underground Railroad was an actual train, but you grew. Like, you're doing activism. You're doing so much stuff now. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So I was starting to fall into starting to like her. I'm like, okay. And now this.
But we also got to understand, we love Portia coming from Housewives.
Yeah.
We never had a chance to see her by herself and all her mess. So now that it's on display, we don't, well, some of us, I'm not going to say all, because some people actually was in love with the show. But for those of us that was on the flip 50-50, I would have rather saw Portia handling her business, come out and correct the questions that we got about the situation with her and Simon, and be real and genuine about it. Don't try to sugarcoat over it.
She don't ever own up to nothing.
And that's the problem. That's the problem. Like, you had a platform of your own show to dumb down all the rumors, put them all to rest, but we still got more questions than we did going in.
All we know is she's married to she's about to get married to some old man, just like that lady on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
Mary, yeah, what's going on with her? You know, Mary actually skipped out on filming the reunion. No, what is up with that?
The thing with Mary Cosby, let me give you a little backstory. So, Housewives of Salt Lake City is in their second season. The second season just wrapped. On the first season, we was introduced to all of the ladies. The standout was Mary Cosby. Why? Because she had a storyline that was unbelievable,
her granddaddy,
and crazy. She was married to her grandfather, step-grandfather. Let me put that, her grandmother's husband. The grandmother died and wanted to keep the man in the family, so she put him on her granddaughter, which is Mary Cosby.
They real interesting in Utah.
Yeah, and see, and then it's from Utah, so you got political and all kind of craziness going on. So we watched her in the first season for her storyline, and then we found out that she was crazy and all over the place, and we liked that.
Yeah.
But on season 2, it's like we know your storyline, so that's gonna dumb down, and she brought nothing else. But the thing that people don't like about Mary Cosby is they say she's low-key racist. She does say some shady stuff.
She does.
Against white people.
Yeah.
She said something that was I thought was extremely racist about the Asian woman's eyes on that show. I saw the clip on Instagram and I was shocked. I was like, what? But then she had no qualms about it. She was like, yeah, I said it, and like
now that's one thing I admire about Mary Cosby.
Like that. That's
she walks in her truth and she stands in it. But my thing is, as a black
she
woman
stands
in Utah, you kind of made a bad face for all the black women in Utah. Because are all y'all crazy?
Yeah, they are. That's that same state where they be having them sister wives and that sort of thing.
Exactly. So Kenya, to answer your question, I think she skipped out on doing the reunion because she was gonna have to face a lot of those questions and people looking at her and wanting answers for why are you reacting and acting like this? And I think the pressure was too hot in the kitchen and she didn't want to be bothered with it.
Right, and she's the pastor of her own church that people say is a cult.
Yeah,
it's a lot going on with her. It's a lot going on. It's a lot going on with her. Just like there's a lot going on with New York. They say that New York is coming back to reality TV with a couple of other famous people.
Really?
So New York is coming back to reality world. She's coming back on a Big Brother US installment. Now, if you remember, I think it was 2016, she was on Big Brother UK.
Yeah.
Or was she?
Yeah, and it was a big thing about that. If you don't know the backstory, go back and watch the UK season. But she's on her way coming to do the US installment. I'm kind of over New York because she don't really bring me nothing new. She's still the HBIC.
Oh, don't you dare say she don't bring you something new when she got this brand new nose right there.
I mean, got a brand new nose.
She got a brand new nose and she got a brand new everything. So she is bringing all sorts of newness.
Right, she's been working on her body since she left season 1 of Flavor of Love. It's nothing new.
Right.
Look at that.
That's correction of a botched surgery.
She looked like, what's her name? What's the girl from Potomac? Wendy, a little bit.
You think she looks like Wendy right now?
A little bit.
I don't see it.
That's her husband?
Sure, I don't know. Ooh, she look white.
I don't think she married.
Scroll up, said.
She's like a Muppet right there. Light skin New York. Yep.
She got a Michael Jackson makeup on.
Yeah. So I also heard too that Nene is supposed to be on Celebrity Big Brother and Neo, and so it's coming out that like all of these people, don't know if it's true or not, but they say that Celebrity Big Brother has a lot of us. It is some big names. It is some big names. We'll see how many actually make it. But I also wanted to say this, talking about Big Brother. I don't know if y'all watched. It wasn't Celebrity Big Brother, but shout out to the last season of the regular Big Brother house because a black person won. First time in history a black person has won Big Brother. So yeah. So I wanted to put that in there since we talking about the celebrity.
Oh yeah, they had that group called the Cookout. So they did that on purpose.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, they came in with a game plan.
I stopped looking at her nose. Like, she looked like Lil' Kim. Like, she's giving me Lil' Kim. I went a little bit too far with my plastic surgery.
The nose is pinched a little bit too much for me, too.
You know who she giving me? Princess.
Princess Love Ray J's wife.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's giving me...
She look like a Muppet.
Yes, Muppet. I'm getting a Fraggle Rock Muppet vibe.
That's what Fraggle Rock. I was trying to get up.
She's giving me the Rachel Divide tease.
Down to Fraggle Rock.
Down to Fraggle Rock.
Y'all is crazy, man. Leave New York alone. We're gonna welcome her back. So she's coming back on Big Brother. So be on the lookout for it. We'll definitely keep you on informed.
That's what's up, man. What you watching this week, bro?
What am I watching? And I'm late to this. I think I mentioned this last week. I'm still watching Our Kind of People. Oh, and I'm also watching Kings of Naples. So
Yeah, you said that
right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've been watching Cobra Kai.
You know what? Somebody hit me on my inbox and asked me, could we talk about that?
I love Cobra Kai. Like this, and so I actually missed like the last season. So I'm just getting. I'll start tonight on season 4, which is on Netflix right now.
Okay.
But if you watched the Karate Kids Part 1 and 2 back in the day, you will love Cobra Kai because they bring back all of the old characters from back in the day. They still talk about Mr. Miyagi, who passed, Pat Morita, who passed way back in the day. It's such a good show. It's very well written. Executive produced by Will Smith and his son. And you definitely got to check it out if you're not watching Cobra Kai. And if you are a fan of the Karate Kid series, you will definitely enjoy this. It picks back up with all the characters.
I will definitely check it out. Because it's be coming up on a weekend. I need something to binge watch.
Yeah. And then, y'all get snowed in up there all the time. So, y'all like.
See,
Not really.
Let me knock on some wood. Because we ain't got no snow right now. But it's cold as hell, but we ain't got no snow.
Right.
We wake up in the morning, it's 5 feet.
COVID in.
What about you, Sam? What you watching?
New York knows.
You just.
I'm watching them. I'm so sick of the baby hair. I'll be glad when that play out a little bit.
What with the
girls are
like
their baby hair.
I'm here for the lace front, but everybody just got the baby hair. It's not looking real no more.
I remember when I was a kid. I grew up with this girl named Sandra Daniels. I'm sorry I said your name, Sandra. But like she said that she would always like put toothpaste and paste the head down. This is way back in the day, man. So this is when we were in elementary school, and she would always say like she would paste down her edges with toothpaste.
With toothpaste.
Yeah.
See,
with the regular white toothpaste.
See, that paved the way for Gorilla Glue, girl.
Exactly.
See what I'm saying?
Damn sure did.
See what I'm saying?
It damn sure did. Hey, Shorty, you got to stick around for this viral video clip of the week, man, because I know you got something to say about this right here. So, lead pastor of Transformation Church in Tulsa, Oklahoma, Michael Todd, he's making headlines. The clip has gone viral. He's giving a sermon in front of his congregation, and you will not believe what he did after this.
And you don't see it clearly yet, but you hear.
Listen at the crowd.
And this is where most people would not face Jesus anymore. What most people would do is turn away.
And see, my thing is, it's COVID out here.
What I'm telling you is just as he's physically standing here, knowing what's coming, God's saying, can you physically and spiritually and emotionally be able to stand? When getting the vision or receiving it might get nasty. I'm going to say it in a point just like that. Receiving vision from God might get nasty. You mean, God, I just bought, in crazy faith, I just bought my dream car. And now you're going to ask me to sell it back and ride in the hoopty again? Yeah, because the vision I'm about to give you, it might get nasty.
See.
And do you hear and see the responses of the people? What I'm telling you is how you just reacted is how the people in your life will react when God is doing what it takes for the miracle. What are you saying? This man was blind, and what he was trying to do with this man is give him his DNA.
You wasn't
What in
preaching,
the-
sir.
What in the COVID just happened?
Right?
Because you know what? See,
That shit
only Jesus himself will be able to wipe his spit on my face.
That's exactly what Sandra said. Like, only if you are able to turn water into wine or paper cash or raise the dead. Like, don't be using your own personal spit for no sermon illustration. Like, we don't need that.
Because my thing is, see, Jesus was a miracle worker. I'm about to get spiritual because I got to put it out there. Jesus was a miracle worker. Jesus took spit and put it on the man's eyes, and that man got his sight back. This preacher right here, he's spitting on people and giving them COVID. That's nasty. That's unsanitary. It ain't right. And he should pray for forgiveness because that should be a sin. It's like committing almost a attempt to murder.
That's a fade on sight.
On site, programmed to go.
On
site. Like there's absolutely no way that I would have sat there while this man played with his little spit in his hand and put it on his face like his foundation or something like that. That was the most disgusting.
I don't know how he thought that was okay, and we're in a pandemic. Like him being a shepherd of the flock is supposed to protect and you know not do crazy shit like spitting on somebody in front of the congregation.
But the thing is, like, that man allowed him to do that.
That was his brother.
Well, he need his ass.
And like knowing it, obviously, like they talked about it prior to this happening. So like it was a part of because like you don't just tell him to go over there. Like, so like he knew it was coming, but like the fact that you just agreed to do like to be a part of someone's spiritual I wouldn't hear that.
And then my thing is to use the analogy of you got this expensive car and God wants you to give it back so you can drive a hoopty.
Whatever he was preaching wasn't preaching.
God is telling you to be humble.
Mm-hmm.
Not spit on somebody, rub your spit all up in their face. God is saying, take that car back and drive that hoopty and be humble. I have a time and a blessing for you. Wait until that time approaches.
Right.
Take that expensive car back, get the hoopty, don't spit on nobody.
Yeah, that was really out of control. So that was his brother. The pastor has since apologized for, what we all saw right there. But I also think that this was a way to get publicity too. I think that this, draws people to the church. It makes viral video clips of the week on everybody's podcast. And he did that for a reason. I'm sure this was strategically thought out and he knew what he was doing. And that's why we're talking about it right now.
But see, now I'm questioning, why would you want to go to his church after you saw that?
Because some people,
there's nothing you can teach me. I'm a human trying to get to heaven.
Yeah,
that's the only thing you can show me, the roadmap, but it should not ever cause it to include saliva. It just shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
It just shouldn't. I don't know what you got. I don't know what you're carrying.
Yeah,
and then you want to smear it all in. No.
That was nasty.
This is what they should have did.
What the hell? Play that one more time? That was fast. Do it one more time, Sam. Why did she push him off? What the hell?
I'm not laughing at that, Lord. But it was funny. That's exactly what they should have did to Pastor.
Because my thing is, what is the benefit?
To make everybody mad. That's the benefit, to make everybody mad.
See, that's a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Oh, it's been a great show, you guys.
It has. I'm glad y'all kept me on for an extra 5 minutes.
So do we
right now.
Hey, Shorty, how can everybody get in contact with you, bro?
Yo, I'm on Instagram all the time, anytime. Hit me up at Echo Prince. That's ECHOPRINCE. I'm there anytime, all the time. Drop something in the DM. I'll holler right back at you. Ask a question, I'll answer it.
No doubt, man. We're going to holler at you next Thursday, okay?
Peace. I will see you next Thursday.
All right, man. Shorty with the reality recap. Sad Lover, that's a wrap for the show, right? We got anything else?
Nothing else. This was good. I do want to shout out all of the Divine Nine, the ones who have their Founders Day after ours or whatever. So shout out to all of our Divine Nine organizations that had their Founders Day and we passed. So I know that included the AKAs and the Deltas and the Zetas and I think it's just the 5 of us. So happy Founders Day, but also Delta Sigma Theta experienced a loss today with their national president passed away today. So sending my condolences out to our sisters in Delta and also the family who are going through this loss of their president today. I think this happened. So that's for Cheryl A. Hickman.
Sorry to hear our condolences. Definitely. Yep. And thank you, everyone, for checking us out. Shouts out to you, Sandra. Thank you so much, as always, for sticking with us and checking us out every Thursday, 8 p.m. That's where you can find us, Everybody Mad Live Podcast. Also, before we dip out, again, want to thank our special guest this evening, Chief Ralph Godbee. Make sure that you go check him out and support him. He's over at Triumph Church up in Detroit. They actually have 7 churches. 7 churches.
We got 7 locations. 3 in Detroit, Southfield, Flint, Northville, somewhere else.
Okay, cool.
Yep. So we're a big church, and we're looking forward to what Godbee can do. Hopefully, it'll be cool to have somebody from the church in Congress to be able to answer our issues or whatever. But thank you again for being a part of the show. A couple of weeks, we will have one of our financial advisors here. Belize Smith, she'll be with us to start off Black History Month in February. So we'll have some money tips for you in advance of coming up on tax season and that sort of thing. We need to kind of circle our minds around money and what we need to do to grow our money, not just from a personal standpoint, but there are some ways in which we all got some gifts inside of us and we can grow our business. So we'll talk to her with our tried and true finance in February. But it's been wonderful having you here. We'll see you next Thursday, 8 p.m., same time, same location. Holla.